Genghis Khan, c. 1162–18 August 1227, born Temujin, was the founder and great Khan of the Mongol Empire, which became the largest contiguous empire in history after his demise. He came to power by uniting many of the nomadic tribes of Northeast Asia. After founding the Mongol Empire and being proclaimed Genghis Khan, he started the Mongol Invasions that resulted in the conquest of most of Eurasia. These included raids or invasions of the Karakitai, Caucasus, Khwarezmid Empire, a Western Xia and Jin dynasties. These campaigns were often accompanied by wholesale massacres of the civilian populations, especially in the Khwarezmian and Xia-controlled lands. By the end of his life, the Mongol Empire occupied a substantial portion of Central Asia and China. Before Genghis Khan died, he assigned Ogedei Khan as his successor and split his empire into khanates among his sons and grandsons. He died in 1227 after defeating the Western Xia. He was buried in an unmarked grave somewhere in Mongolia at an unknown location. His descendants extended the Mongol Empire across most of Eurasia by conquering or creating vassal states out of all of modern-day China, Korea, the Caucasus, Central Asia, and substantial portions of modern Eastern Europe, Russia, and Southwest Asia. Many of these invasions repeated the earlier large-scale slaughters of local populations. As a result, Genghis Khan and his empire have a fearsome reputation in local histories. Beyond his military accomplishments, Genghis Khan also advanced the Mongol Empire in other ways. He decreed the adoption of the ʻkɑː script as the Mongol Empire's writing system. He also practiced meritocracy and encouraged religious tolerance in the Mongol Empire while unifying the nomadic tribes of Northeast Asia. Present-day Mongolians regard him as the founding father of Mongolia. Although known for the brutality of his campaigns and considered by many to have been a genocidal ruler, Genghis Khan is also credited with bringing the Silk Road under one cohesive political environment. This brought communication and trade from Northeast Asia into Muslim Southwest Asia and Christian Europe, thus expanding the horizons of all three cultural areas. Early life. Lineage. Temujin was related on his father's side to Kabul Khan, Ambahai, and Hotala Khan, who had headed the Khamag Mongol Confederation and were descendants of Bodon Charmunkag. When the Jurchen Jin dynasty switched support from the Mongols to the Tatars in 1161, they destroyed of Kabul Khan. Temujin's father, Yashugay, emerged as the head of the ruling clan of the Mongols. This position was contested by the rival Tai-Chiud clan, who descended directly from Ambahai. When the Tatars grew too powerful after 1161, the Jin switched their support from the Tatars to the Kiryats. Birth. Due to the lack of contemporary written records, scant factual information exists about the early life of Temujin. The few sources that provide insight into this period often conflict. Temujin's name was derived from the Mongol word Tema meaning iron, while Jin denotes agency, thus Temujin means blacksmith. Temujin was probably born in 1162 in Daluin Boldog, near Burkhan Khildun Mountain and the Onan and Kurlin rivers in modern-day northern Mongolia, not far from the current capital Ulaanbaatar. The Secret History of the Mongols reports that Temujin was born with a blood clot grasped in his fist, a traditional sign that he was destined to become a great leader. He was the second oldest son of his father Yashugay, a Khamag Mongols major chief of the Khyadin and ally of Tofrul Khan of the Kiryat tribe, and the oldest son of his mother Holan. According to the Secret History, Temujin was named after a Tatar chieftain, Temujin Uge, whom his father had just captured. Yesakai's clan was called Borjigin, and Holan was from the Olkhunut, the sublineage of the Kongaray tribe. Like other tribes, they were nomads. Because his father was a chieftain, as were his predecessors, Temujin was of a noble background. This higher social standing made it easier to solicit help from and eventually consolidate the other Mongol tribes. Early life and family. Temujin had 3 brothers named Hassa, Hashiyun, and Temuga, and 1 sister named Temulan, as well as 2 half-brothers named Bigtur and Belgate. Like many of the nomads of Mongolia, Temujin's early life was difficult. His father arranged a marriage for him, and at 9 years of age he was delivered by his father to the family of his future wife Borta, who was a member of the tribe Kongarade. Temujin was to live there in service to Dai Set Sen, the head of the new household, until he reached the marriageable age of 12. While heading home, his father ran into the neighboring Tatars, who had long been enemies of the Mongols, and he was subsequently poisoned by the food they offered. Upon learning this, Temujin returned home to claim his father's position as chieftain of the tribe. However, his father's tribe refused to be led by a boy so young. They abandoned Holan and her children, leaving them without protection. For the next several years, Holan and her children lived in poverty, surviving primarily on wild fruits and ox carcasses, marmots, and other small game killed by Temujin and his brothers. Bigtur, Temujin's older half-brother, began to exercise the power of the eldest male in the family, and eventually Temujin's mother Holan would have to accept him as her husband Ifan. When he became an adult, Temujin's resentment erupted during one hunting excursion that Temujin and his brother Kasa killed their half-brother Bigtur. In another incident, around 1177, he was captured in a raid and held prisoner by his father's former allies, the Taichiud. The Taichiud enslaved Temujin, but with the help of a sympathetic guard, the father of Chilorn, he was able to escape from the Gur in the middle of the night by hiding in a river crevice. It was around this time that Yelma Boorchu, 2 of Genghis Khan's future generals, joined forces with him. Temujin's reputation also became widespread after his escape from the Taichiud. At this time, none of the tribal confederations of Mongolia were united politically, and arranged marriages were often used to solidify temporary alliances. Temujin grew up observing the tough political climate of Mongolia, which included tribal warfare, thievery, raids, corruption, and continual acts of revenge carried out between the various confederations, all compounded by interference from foreign forces such as the Chinese dynasties to the south. Temujin's mother Holan taught him many lessons about the unstable political climate of Mongolia, especially the need for alliances. Marriage to Borta as previously arranged by his father. Temujin married Borta of the Onghirat tribe when he was around 16 in order to cement alliances between their respective tribes. Soon after Borta's marriage to Temujin, she was kidnapped by the Merkits and reportedly given away as a wife. Temujin rescued her with the help of his friend and future rival Jamukha, and his protector, Tofrul Khan of the Kiria tribe. She gave birth to a son, Jochi, 9 months later, clouding the issue of his parentage. Despite speculation over Jochi, Borta would be Temujin's only empress, though he did follow tradition by taking several morganatic wives. Borta had 3 more sons, Chagatai, Ogaday, and Tolua. Genghis Khan also had many other children with his other wives, but they were excluded from the succession. While the names of sons were documented, daughters were not. The names of at least 6 daughters are known, and while they played significant roles behind the scenes during his lifetime, no documents have survived that definitively provide the number or names of daughters born to the consorts of Genghis Khan, uniting the Mongol confederations. During the early 13th century, the Central Asian plateau north of China was divided into several tribes or confederations, among them Naimans, Merkits, Tatars, Khamag Mongols, and Kiriads, that were all prominent in their own right and often unfriendly toward each other, as evidenced by random raids, revenge attacks, and plundering. Early attempts at power. Temujin began his ascent to power by offering himself as an ally to his father Zander Tofrul, who was Khan of the Kiriids, and is better known by the Chinese title, Wang Khan, which the Jin Empire granted him in 1197. This relationship was first reinforced when Borta was captured by the Merkits. Temujin turned to Tofrul for support, and in response, Tofrul offered his vassal 20,000 of his Kiriid warriors and suggested that he also involve his childhood friend Jamukar, who had himself become Khan of his own tribe, the Jadaran. Although the campaign was successful and led to the recapture of Borta and utter defeat of the Merkits, it also paved the way for the split between the childhood friends, Temujin and Jamukar. Temujin had become blood brother with Jamukar earlier, and they had vowed to remain eternally faithful. Rift with Jamukar and defeat at Dalan Bal's Hut as Jamukar and Temujin drifted apart in their friendship, each began consolidating power, and soon became rivals. Jamukar supported the traditional Mongolian aristocracy, while Temujin followed a meritocratic method, and attracted a broader, though lower class, range of followers. Due to his earlier defeat of the Merkits, and a proclamation by the shaman Kokochu that the eternal blue sky had set aside the world for Temujin, Temujin began rising to power. In 1186, Temujin was elected Khan of the Mongols. However, Jamukar, threatened by Temujin's rapid ascent, quickly moved to stop Temujin's ambitions. In 1187, he launched an attack against his former friend with an army of 30,000 troops. Temujin hastily gathered together his followers to defend against the attack, but he was decisively beaten in the Battle of Dalan Bal's Hut. Jamukar horrified people greatly and harmed his image by boiling 70 young male captives alive in cauldrons, alienating many of his potential followers and eliciting sympathy for Temujin. Tofrul, as Temujin's patron, was exiled to the Karakitai. The life of Temujin for the next 10 years is very unclear, as historical records are mostly silent on that period. Returned to power around the year 1197, the Jin initiated an attack against their former vassal, the Tartars, with help from the Kiriids and Mongols. Temujin commanded part of this force, and following the subsequent victory he and Tofrul were restored by the Jin to positions of power. The Jin bestowed Tofrul with the honorable title of Ong Khan, and Temujin with the lesser title of Jaut Kari. The main opponents of the Mongol Confederation around 1200 were the Naimans to the west, the Merkits to the north, the Tanguts to the south, and the Jin to the east. In his rule and his conquest of rival tribes, Temujin broke with Mongol tradition in a few crucial ways. He delegated authority based on merit and loyalty, rather than family ties. As an incentive for absolute obedience and following his rule of law, the Yasa Code, Temujin promised civilians and soldiers wealth from future possible war spoils. As he defeated rival tribes, he did not drive away enemy soldiers and abandon the rest. Instead, he took the conquered tribe under his protection and integrated its members into his own tribe. He would even have his mother adopt orphans from the conquered tribe, bringing them into his family. These political innovations inspired great loyalty among the conquered people, making Temujin stronger with each victory. Rift with Tofrul. xaːŋ, son of Tofrul, was jealous of Temujin's growing power, and his affinity with his father. He allegedly planned to assassinate Temujin. Tofrul, though allegedly saved on multiple occasions by Temujin, gave in to his son and became uncooperative with Temujin. Temujin learned of xaːŋ's intentions and eventually defeated him and his loyalists. One of the later ruptures between Tofrul and Temujin was Tofrul's refusal to give his daughter in marriage to Jochi, the eldest son of Temujin, a sign of disrespect in the Mongolian culture. This act led to the split between both factions and was a prelude to war. Tofrul allied himself with Jamukar, who already opposed Temujin's forces. However, the internal dispute between Tofrul and Jamukar, plus the desertion of a number of their allies to Temujin, led to Tofrul's defeat. Jamukar escaped during the conflict. This defeat was a catalyst for the fall and eventual dissolution of the Kiria tribe. The next direct threat to Temujin was the Naimans, with whom Jamukar and his followers took refuge. The Naimans did not surrender, although enough sectors again voluntarily sided with Temujin. In 1201, a Kurul Day elected Jamukar as ʻkɑːn, universal ruler, a title used by the rulers of the Kara Kitai. Jamukar's assumption of this title was the final breach with Temujin, and Jamukar formed a coalition of tribes to oppose him. Before the conflict, however, several generals abandoned Jamukar, including Subutai, Yelmer's well-known younger brother. After several battles, Jamukar was finally turned over to Temujin by his own men in 1206. According to the secret history, Temujin again offered his friendship to Jamukar, asking him to return to his side. Temujin had killed the men who betrayed Jamukar, stating that he did not want disloyal men in his army. Jamukar refused the offer of friendship and reunion, saying that there can only be one sun in the sky, and he asked for a noble death. The custom is to die without spilling blood, which is granted by breaking the back. Jamukar requested this form of death, despite the fact that in the past Jamukar had been known to have boiled his opponent's generals alive. Sole ruler of the Mongol plains, the part of the Merkit clan that sided with the Naimans were defeated by Subutai, who was by then a member of Temujin's personal guard and later became one of the most successful commanders of Genghis Khan. The Naimans' defeat left Temujin as the sole ruler of the Mongol plains. All the prominent confederations fell or united under his Mongol confederation. Accounts of Genghis Khan's life are marked by claims of a series of betrayals and conspiracies. These include rifts with his early allies such as Jamukar and Wang Khan, his son Jochi, and problems with the most important shaman, who was allegedly trying to drive a wedge between him and his loyal brother Kasa. His military strategies showed a deep interest in gathering good intelligence and understanding the motivations of his rivals, exemplified by his extensive spy network and yam-root systems. He seemed to be a quick student, adopting new technologies and ideas that he encountered, such as siege warfare from the Chinese. He was also ruthless, demonstrated by his tactic of measuring against the linchpin, used against the tribes led by Jamukar. As a result, by 1206 Temujin had managed to unite or subdue the Merkits, Naimans, Mongols, Kiriads, Tatars, Yughurs, and other disparate smaller tribes under his rule. It was a monumental feat for the Mongols. At a Kurul Day, a council of Mongol chiefs, Temujin was acknowledged as Khan of the consolidated tribes and took the new title, Genghis Khan. The title ʻkɑːn was not conferred on Genghis until after his death, when his son and successor, Ogedai, took the title for himself and extended it posthumously to his father. This unification of all confederations by Genghis Khan established peace between previously warring tribes and a single political and military force. Under Genghis Khan, religion. Genghis Khan was a Təngrist, but was religiously tolerant and interested in learning philosophical and moral lessons from other religions. He consulted Buddhist monks, Muslims, Christian missionaries, and the Taoist monk Huayu Chuji. Genghis Khan and the following Yuan emperors forbade Islamic practices like halal butchering, forcing Mongol methods of butchering animals on Muslims, and other restrictive decrees continued. Muslims had to slaughter sheep in secret. Genghis Khan directly called Muslims and Jews slaves, and demanded that they follow the Mongol method of eating rather than the halal method. Circumcision was also forbidden. Jews were also affected, and forbidden by the Mongols to eat kosher. Among all the subject alien peoples, only the Hui say, "We do not eat Mongol food." Tʃiŋɡɪs Qan replied, "By the aid of heaven we have pacified you, you are our slaves. Yet you do not eat our food or drink. How can this be right?" He thereupon made them eat. "If you slaughter sheep, you will be considered guilty of a crime." He issued a regulation to that effect. In 1279–1280 under Kublai, all the Muslims say, "If someone else slaughters the animal, we do not eat." Because the poor people are upset by this, from now on, Musuluman, Muslim, Hui and Juhu, Jewish, Hui, no matter who kills the animal, will eat it, and must cease slaughtering sheep themselves, and cease the rite of circumcision.